Hello, everybody. Happy New Year. You are watching Wind Down Wednesday, a self-love TV production. I'm your host, Amelia Fortes, and Happy New Year. We are in 2021. If this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for being here. Please leave a comment so that I can say hello to you and let me know that you're here. If you're watching this on the replay, please give me a #replay. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please remember to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be notified of our videos that we upload every week. So it's a couple weeks since I've been on. I took a couple weeks off for Christmas and for New Year. And just as a reminder, this is a weekly show where we talk all the things self-love, and I also give a self-love astrology weather report to kind of let you know what's going on in the cosmos. Tonight's topic is self-love in 2021. It's our first episode of the new year 2021, and I really just wanted to revisit and lay down a foundation of self-love in 2021. What does it mean to you? How are we going to level it up? What does self-love look like in different areas of your life, whether it's dating and relationships, money and abundance, passion, purpose, pleasure, all the things. Hey, Jeremy, I'm so glad you're here. If you're hopping on, please say hello. If you're catching this on the replay, please give a #replay. Follow, like, subscribe, all the amazing things. So that was my plan for the topic for tonight. And then, of course, with all the things that are going on or that are happening in the United States today, which is where I am. I'm in New York City. There's a lot of civil unrest happening in the world. So we're really going to talk about that as well. It's really on my heart to address that and talk about that through the lens of self-love and spirituality, because that's the lens through which I pretty much see everything. And if you're here live, I completely invite this to be a completely interactive discussion. So leave comments. I'll be checking comments and also posting comments up. And actually also, if you're watching this on the replay, you can still also leave comments because I will see the comments and be able to respond to them. So yeah, I really think it's important to talk about this topic of civil unrest through the lens of self-love and spirituality. But before we go through that, I kick off every show with your self-love astrology weather report. And really all I want to talk about today in terms of astrology is that it's Capricorn season. I love my Capricorns, and actually on YouTube and on my Instagram, IGTV, you can go to 𝘀𝗷𝘀 either on YouTube or Instagram. I posted a love letter to Capricorn, and it is a channeled love letter that just came through me one morning while I was journaling, and the spirit guide said, you need to share this. It's a love letter to Capricorn. And it's not even just Capricorn, like your sun sign, but anyone who has a lot of earth element, or anyone really who feels called to listen to that love. Maybe it's actually a love letter from Capricorn, whichever way you want to look at it, but I definitely invite you to watch that. It's a channeled message, and it's an amazing transmission that I'm really excited about. And I'll say a little bit about that here. All I want to say about Capricorn season for your self-love astrology weather report today is, you know, Capricorn has a lot of desires and goals. Like energetically, Capricorn is like about that luxury, about getting the money, about getting paid, about, you know, stability and setting a foundation financially for themselves in the material world. It's an earth sign, so it's very much about the material world. And I love that about Capricorn. You know, as a Cancer sun, I'm very into the intuitive, watery emotional, spiritual side of things. And I love the earthy, grounded stability, realness of Capricorn. Capricorns are some of my favorite people, whether you're a Capricorn sun or a Capricorn moon or Cap rising, or even Capricorn Venus. Like I just love that energy. I love that vibe. Like it speaks to me in a very, very deep way. Like Capricorns, they're not about bullshit. You know, they're like, I'm trying to get mine. I want you to get yours. I want to get mine. It's a great energy. Hey Megan, hey Dave, hey Moira. I'm so glad you're all here. Please say hello. Hey, oh my God, Cecily's here. We're doing our self-love astrology weather report. I'm talking about Capricorn. Yeah, check out my IGTV, my YouTube video, which is a love letter to Capricorn. And what I will say, it's a whole channeled message. It's about 20 minutes long, so I won't go for 20 minutes about that right now. But what I will say is, so even though Capricorn energy is about that life, about getting theirs, about getting their financial, mental, and physical stability. So they're very like goal oriented, and there's just this like cardinal, you know, like I'm about to get mine. So the love letter that was channeled though was that actually as an earth sign, your purpose in this world is to receive. And so the edge there for Capricorn, or for anyone who needs to hear this message, is better that action froze. Okay, am I back? Hopefully I'm. You are that go-getter, that act taker that gets what you need to get. Hold on, I'm just making sure that I'm back. I think I'm back. Okay, am I back? Good, I think I'm back. Okay. But the leading edge for you, the next edge for you, is as an earth sign, you're actually here to receive. And so my invitation / challenge to you, if you're a hustler, if you're a go-getter, a doer, is how much more can you get done by doing less? How much more can you get done by receiving support, by receiving love, by receiving energy and good vibes? Now, you might not have an answer for that question right now, but it's an invitation to you to sit with that. Because in a world that we live in where we're all about the worthiness hustle and productivity, and it's deeply embedded in our cells and in our DNA that we are only worth as much as we produce. And I believe that we are inherently worthy just by existing, but it can be hard to combat that that belief, because it's so ingrained in our society. And that's why we have workaholism and burnout and all of this stuff. And so my invitation to you, if you came here for just one message, it's probably this. It's how much can you get done by doing less? How much can you get done? How much can you create through receiving? I don't know. Sit with that. That's a question for you that I'm posing to you. Let me know what you come up with. I'm really interested to hear what you come up with. And if in this moment you're kind of like, bitch, what are you talking about? Then definitely sit with it. I want you to watch this as a replay and write that question down and be with it. So that's really all I wanted to say for your self-love astrology weather report, because I really want to talk about tonight's topic again is self-love in 2021 and how can we deepen it. But given this opportunity to talk about this topic, civil unrest through the lens of self-love and spirituality. Now, hey Holly, oh my gosh, I'm so glad to have you here. I'm a little nervous to talk about this, but I'm also really excited to talk about this. So before I even go into it, and I want to hear what you have to say and what you think. So if stuff's coming up for you, definitely pop them in the comments. I'm nervous to talk about it because I know there's going to be people who disagree with me, and people who are like, what the hell are you talking about? That makes no sense. That's stupid. And a lot of other things, because everyone looks at the world through their lens. So what I will say about this topic that I'm talking about, this is my lens that I see the world. And it's not even like I'm asking you to agree with me or see the world through my lens. It's more, hopefully, by hearing my lens and my view of civil unrest through self-love and spirituality, my intention, my desire, my wish for you is for it to open up new possibilities for you in your way of thinking. Because really what I want for you is to feel better and to be happier and to feel more joyful and to feel more relaxed and to feel more in the flow and at ease in the world. And the way to do that is to shift your lens, your perception of the world in a way that works for you. At the same time, this isn't about spiritual bypassing and love and light, because yes, there's a lot of shitty shit happening in the world, and there's a lot of stuff to be angry about. So self-love mastery, self-love lifestyle is about learning how to balance and master the toggling of that, to be able to be grounded in the reality of what's happening in the world, in the reality of white supremacy and racism and sexism and misogyny and misogynoir and all of that, to be grounded in the reality, but to not be so controlled by the external reality that it steals your peace, that it steals your joy, that it steals your sovereignty over that which you can create in this world. That being said, I also am going to name the fact that I will be talking about some things from my own places of privilege. While I am a woman of color, I recognize that I have privileges. I'm cisgender, I'm homosexual, I'm heterosexual, well, debatable, but generally I'm straight passing. I am able-bodied, I am neurotypical. So there's a lot, like the lens through I see the world is certainly through a lens of my own privileges. So I know that. And so whatever I'm saying, if you're here, you're watching, you're called to this message, there's something here for you. So take what you like, leave the rest. Hey, everybody. Hey, people joining. Please say hello in the comments as you're joining. Okay, so civil unrest, the lens of spirituality and self-love. Let's just like put aside, and if you don't know what's going on, I have a lot of international viewers. In the United States today, January 6, 2021, Trump supporters basically stormed the Capitol in Washington, D.C. because they're mad that they lost the election. And it was freaking nuts. If you want to look it up, you see it looked like it was a trailer for some action thriller horror purge movie. It's one of those things that when I saw it, like I felt numb because I couldn't believe what I was seeing on some level. And of course, on some level, I wasn't surprised about what I was seeing, which is a whole thing in and of itself. So let's just put that aside for a second and just like talk about the lens of self-love and spirituality, right? And if this concept that I'm about to say is like new to you, then try it on. If you like it, you like it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. If you have questions, ask me questions. But I look at the world through the lens of there is a cosmic order to things. I, as a single human being on planet Earth, am merely a single like organism, a single cell in this much greater organism of the galaxy, the universe, the multiverse, right? I'm like this one little person living on this rock that is literally spinning in the middle of nowhere, and you know, this rock being Earth. So I'm merely one very, very small piece of the multiverse. And so everything that's happening is, there's a cosmic order to it. There's a reason there. And I believe that one of the main reasons is for the evolution of the frequencies, the vibrations, the energies, right? And here, as a human being, as an earthling, planet Earth, I came here, my soul came here into this life form to continue to evolve. And so as a soul, there was an evolution that I wanted to, there was a next level of my evolution that I wanted to experience. And so I chose the circumstances, the situations, the body, the parents, the siblings, the location in which I incarnated, in which I was born, in order to experience in a 3D reality that which I needed to experience in order to further evolve my soul. What am I saying with that? Hopefully that made sense, because I was partially channeling when I was saying all of that. So my point is, so it's like we came here into this reality because we wanted to experience this reality. And the thing about this reality, this current human earthling reality, is that it includes a whole spectrum of experiences. It includes amazing, blissful ecstasy, orgasmic ecstasy, joy, love, peace. And it also includes devastation and suffering and sorrow. And we came here into this existence to experience all of that. So imagine, like, when you're a soul, when you're not in this body, and you're a soul out there in heaven or whatever you want to call it, and everything's great. Like, there's just this place where all the souls are, and it's just everything. And they're looking down at Earth, and it's like, oh yeah, it looks kind of funky, it looks kind of janky, it looks kind of rugged. Like, I want to experience that, purely for the purpose of experiencing life. Because as this soul, this etheric body that has no five senses, that just is consciousness, is desiring this tangible, sensual experience. And that's why we wanted to come to Earth. And it's like anything else, right? Like, for those of you who like skydiving or bungee jumping or like daredevil shit, it's like, for people who don't like daredevil stuff, they're going to be like, ew, why would you do that? It's like, because I want to experience it. I want to feel what it feels like to jump out of an airplane, right? And so you can't feel what it feels like to jump out of an airplane unless you jump out of an airplane. You can't feel what it feels like to make love unless you're in the human way, unless you're in a human body and able to make love with another human being. So we came here literally to experience, right? And that's the funny thing, is because a lot of us forget that. And so when we're suffering and when we're feeling bad, we're like pissed off. Or like when like bad shit is happening, we're like pissed off because we're like, this is wrong. Like, and we get kind of stuck in this duality of right and wrong and the way things are supposed to be. And it's like, it's funny when, I mean, and I say that too, like, I'm a control freak too, so I'm not like saying that I'm not guilty of this myself, but it's like, we're so obsessed with like the way things are supposed to be. And it's like, well, how are things supposed to be? And here's the thing, there's no one answer for how things are supposed to be. I mean, look around, like, not even just in the United States, but in pretty much almost every country in the world, like, everyone has, this isn't how it's supposed to be. And it's like, well, how is it supposed to be? You ask 5 different people, you're going to get 5 different answers, even if they voted for the same person. So who is the decider of how things are supposed to be? And some people might say, well, God is the decider. And it's like, well, we don't even all agree on who God is or even the existence of God. So like when we start looking at the world through that lens, it's just kind of like, well, there is no right or wrong at that point. And we're all just really here, almost 8 billion of us in this world, just like literally living 8 billion different perceptions of reality and 8 billion different opinions of how things are supposed to be. You know, for some reason, this example is coming up of like how women are supposed to look. Like, I look on Instagram and I'm like, oh my gosh, like all these people, most of these women in their 20s on Instagram, these Instagram influencers, like they all look the same. They have the same eyebrows, the same lips, the same BBL, the same breast implants. And it's just like, and they judge themselves for like, well, I want to fill in these lips or get this boob job because the way my boobs currently look isn't how they're supposed to look. It's like, well, it's like we get stuck on this concept of how are things supposed to be. And there's no answer for that. That being said, we did incarnate with our opinions and our desires and our callings of how things are supposed to be, of how we want to see the world. And so we have these different functions or jobs here in this lifetime, kind of like how in your body, your heart cells have heart functions, your liver cells have liver functions, your skin cells have skin functions. So it's all part of the same body with different jobs. So, you know, someone like me, I see myself as a healer, a truth teller, a communicator, a storyteller, a message bringer, activator. That's kind of like my MO. That's my DNA. That's who I am. Then there's other people who are like the researchers, the fact checkers. Then there's like the scientists, and there's the healers by way of like being a doctor. And then there's, you know, there's just, everyone has like this different job and everyone has this different way of the world and how things are supposed to be. So bringing that to, Jeremy says they all look like sisters on Instagram, talking about the Instagram influencers. Exactly. They all look like sisters, but it's all because they're using the same filters and probably the same surgeon. I don't know. So anyway, this concept of like how things are supposed to be. And then, okay, so now to this civil unrest. Now, I'll just say, I think it's known, at least if you know me a little bit, I don't like Donald Trump. I actually don't really have a lot of feelings about him. So that being said, I think that the way to peace, so like through the lens of self-love and spirituality, this topic, the way to peace is to get to neutrality. And neutrality is not apathy. Neutrality is, I can have my feelings about it. I can have my opinions about it. But it's not going to knock me off my center. It's not going to sweep me away or take me away from who I am and what I'm here to do on this planet and what my calling is and who I'm here to be. So that's where I find like the self-love mastery and looking at this civil unrest through the lens of self-love and spirituality, right? So here's the thing. Did seeing what I saw today happening in DC frighten me? Yes. Did it piss me off? Yes. Was I emotional? Was I deeply saddened? Was I deeply heartbroken? Yes. Was I surprised? Unfortunately, no. So I have all my feelings about it. I have all my opinions about it. But like, it's not my work, my inner work is to not allow it to knock me off my center where it takes me away from what I'm here to do, if that makes sense. And like I said, I know that I am speaking from a place of privilege when I say that. I know that there are traumas that are triggered that cannot be escaped. And I can relate to that because I have other traumas that get triggered. Actually, that white supremacist shit is pretty fucking triggering to me. What I'm trying to say is there's a fine line between spiritual bypassing and saying like, oh, well, love and light are meant to be, and like completely ignoring the fact that a lot of people are really freaking terrified and sad and scared and re-traumatized seeing what the fuck we're seeing in the news. And then like letting it take you over. So what I do when I look at these things, my practice of self-love and spirituality when all this fuckery is going on, basically, and you can try this on if it sounds intriguing to you, but what I do is I try to like become the witness. You know, here I am, I'm still in my human body having my human feelings. I'm still getting pissed off, feeling scared, feeling emotional, crying, all of those things. And I'm looking at these white supremacists, these terrorists, basically acting crazy. I don't want to use that word crazy, but just being who they're being. You know what I'm saying? And like feeling real, like, who the fuck do you think you are? Like just all these feelings. But then when I like become the witness of all of that, I see it from a different perspective. And I look at I looked at their faces of those people. And I just, you know, the question that I ask is like, if I'm really triggered by this behavior, what is it in me that is like them? Now, I'm not like them. I'm not a white supremacist. I'm not going to storm the Capitol because the person I voted for didn't win. But what I do relate to is throwing a tantrum. What I do relate to is having just such overwhelming emotion that I don't know what else to do with myself. What am I trying to say with this? Anyway, the point is, the invitation is everything in life, everything you observe, everything you experience, everything you see is an opportunity for further soul evolution, self-development, and self-growth. And you don't have to rush to that point. You can feel your feelings, and then when you're ready to process it, kind of see what's coming up for you, see what's there, see what the opportunity is for you in your own life and in your own purpose and in your own life path and calling to like further evolve and further develop and make yourself better for the purpose of finding more peace, not only for yourself, but for the people you love. So that's what I want to say about that. I'm not sure what you feel about that, but I would love to hear. Hey, Seth. Hey, Jency. Hey, all these people. Thank you so much for joining. That being said, too, so the other piece that I want to say now that's coming up, if you're angry, if you're terrified, if you're whatever you're feeling, then good. Like when you're ready, use that energy, use that emotion as fuel to propel you forward, fuel to do what it is you gotta do. And here's the thing. So maybe unpopular opinion, but you know, as unhappy as a lot of people were when Trump was elected president, and as unhappy as a lot of people were these last 4 years, he sure woke a lot of people the fuck up. And that's not me giving him credit. I'm just saying like his existence and who he was being and in his position, in the position of power that he was in, woke a lot of people the fuck up. Because I'll tell you this, if Hillary had won, I mean, who knows? Who knows what would have happened? But my guess would be that I don't know that we would be as awake and motivated and moved as we are with as we are with when Trump came into office. Right? Because here's the thing, those people that trigger you, those people that piss you off, you might hate them, you might wish they weren't there, but the fact that they rile you up in some way, that's life force energy. So in some way, they turned you on, woke you up, like motivated you to do something. I would be curious to see if we would have the people in Congress that we would have had, that we have now. I would be curious to see if the people who voted this time around would have voted if we just had the same old status quo. So that's what I mean through the lens of self-love and spirituality. Like, I'm not agreeing with like the way shit went down. There's certainly a part of me that was like, the last 4 years were fucked up and traumatizing. At the same time, there's so much treasure that came out of that with the people who came into office, the people who voted for the first time, the people who donated to campaigns for the first time, the people who gave a shit for the first time, who joined organizations and motivated and did and like are awake and are like, oh shit, like I've got to do my part in society. So I might not like the guy. He might trigger me a lot of the time, but he sure wakes me up. He wakes me up to a lot of feelings that I have. And here's the thing, the feelings that he triggers in me is not about him. Because, and this is something, I don't know who first said this, but it's one of my favorite things. Like, if someone's pushing your buttons, you're the one with the button. If you didn't have the button, then that person couldn't push your buttons. So you're the one that has to look at your button, the button, right? So for example, grab them by the pussy, Me Too movement, all of that. Those of you that know me know I'm super freaking passionate about that. I'm super freaking passionate about normalizing positive, healthy, joyful, pleasurable sex and consensual sex. I'm super passionate about educating people about the right way to get consent, about how not to freaking sexually assault people, how to go to therapy and get a coach and get healers to get your mental health up, right? I'm super passionate about that. And hearing that Grab Them by the Pussy recording and just his vibe and men like him with that icky, creepy vibe triggers me. It trauma of shit that I've been through in my life. And while that's a shitty thing, the gift of that is it awakens me to what needs to be healed. Because here's the thing, if you don't feel strongly enough about something, it's not going to be motivating enough for you to do something about it. So when fucked up shit happens, or when shit happens that triggers you, or that makes you pissed off, or that has you thinking, this isn't how it's supposed to be, while that moment might feel uncomfortable and shitty and not good, it's waking you up. And that there's pleasure in that. There's a gift in that. There's opportunity in that. That coworker that walks in that don't be acting right, that pisses you off, or your boss, like, or that person, that dude, that chick, whoever, like, you might not like them, you might never like them, but that person is a gift in your life. Because here is the deal. There are too many people that are asleep, and the world needs more people who feel alive, needs more people who feel awake. So even if it is anger, even if it is an emotion that's uncomfortable and that you don't want to feel, it's evidence that you're alive. Because how many people are walking around, or how often do you walk around on autopilot and numb and not feeling anything and not just Like, we were meant to live life full of pleasure and joy and excitement and fun, and to be intoxicated by the love that's available to us. But so many of us are living compromised lives, not being ourselves, worrying about what other people think, worrying about fitting in, focusing on how other people aren't acting right, and not fueling themselves to feel fully alive. Like how many of us, myself included, spend time numbing with retail therapy, drugs, alcohol, weed, sex, attention, right? Attention is also a drug. Like, we spend so much time numbing ourselves and distracting ourselves from life. And this shit that goes down, as shitty as a lot of it is, it's needed to wake us the fuck up. Because if everything was just status quo, then not as many people would be as motivated to do something. And so, like I said, as much as I don't like Trump, he wakes me the fuck up. And then other times when he's not waking me up, I don't give a shit enough about him to even think about him. I barely think about him. Some of y'all think about him way too much, and that's something to look at. Some of y'all talk about him way too much, think about him way too much, are looking to see what dumb shit he's going to do next. Like, my goal would be to not give a shit so that I don't even know what he's doing. I can't even tell you how many times I've ever been on his Twitter because he ain't saying nothing new. Actually, that brings me to my next point. It's like, be so engrossed in your life mission, your purpose, your calling, becoming more of who you authentically are so you can give your gift to the world, that it doesn't matter what the fuck these other people are doing. Because here's the thing, like, they're just being themselves. And a lot of our energy gets tied up because we're still expecting people to not be themselves. Like, people who consistently every day, every other 5 minutes, let themselves get pissed off by Trump or whoever the fuck else, like, that's just you letting them take away your power. Because it's like, who got time? Like, I don't have time to be thinking about this dude. I really don't. The only reason I'm thinking about him now is because it's part of the topic tonight, and this is my show. But like, I really don't have time to be thinking about him that much. And some of y'all just be thinking about him all day long. And it's like, who controls your life, really? If you really think about it, if all you're doing is complaining about one person or a group of people. I just don't have the time. I'm too busy living in my purpose. I'm too busy living in my purpose and trying to get some good quality time with people that I love to be worried about these people who don't even know who I am. So that's what else I want to say. Let's look at the comments. Let's see what comments we have here. What are y'all saying? Yes, it definitely upset me, but it's not going to take my peace. Exactly. So yeah, don't let it take your peace. Turn your rage into courage. Turn your sadness into art. Turn these emotions into something useful, into something that can useful in the direction of where you want to see the world going, instead of complaining about these motherfuckers. I mean, unless you have an intention for complaining, right? Usually when I complain about them, my intention is to make a statement about something, but not just to complain for the sake of complaining, right? So I think that's really all I want to say. Let's pull some cards, shall we? So that, I mean, I think that falls in alignment with the topic, though, self-love in 2021. Because shit's about to get real, or shit's already gotten real, and I feel like it's gonna get realer. But yeah, let's let's just pull some cards. I'm not going to pull for any specific person. I'm just going to pull for you. Y'all that are here. And y'all that are watching this on the replay. Oh, by the way, I'm having a bunch of workshops this month while I'm shuffling. They're going to be on different topics, so you can check them out at 𝗴𝗹𝘀𝗀𝗋.com/events. The URL is right here. I'm having 6 this month. One is going to be on money and abundance. That's this Friday. One is going to be on dating and relationships, passion and purpose. All the descriptions and all the things are in this URL. So sign up for them. It's pay what you can. So there's suggested energy exchange, suggested donation. But I'd rather have you there than worry about how much it is. So pay what you can and show up. Oh, hi, Shandell. So good to see you. Yeah, so I'm having, actually, let me show you the different, do I have the calendar? Let me show y'all the calendar. That's not the calendar. Let me show you the calendar of events for January, and I'll be having events in February, March. I'll be having events every month, but right now we just have the January calendar. Let me share it with you all. Here we go. So these are the events. I hope you can see them okay. So you see here on Wednesdays, we have Wind Down Wednesday, every Wednesday here on Facebook. And then these other events, the money and abundance, the dating and relationships, pleasure, passion, purpose, emotional health and boundaries, passion, purpose, and visibility. Those are all going to be on Zoom, and they are pay what you can. And I chose the topics and the dates and the times based on the astrology of the month. So, for example, we are in Capricorn season, which is all about stability and financial success. And so we, of course, are kicking it off with money and abundance. Actually, I spent a lot of time choosing the dates and times, but I don't remember the reasons why I picked them off the top of my head. But especially, so for example, the full moon in Leo, which is Thursday the 28th, is very much in alignment with visibility and, you know, stepping into the king or the queen that you are. And so that's why I chose the passion, purpose, and visibility topic for the day after the full moon. And that's like if you are struggling with being visible, if you feel like your throat chakra is blocked, if you know that you're meant to like put a message out to the world, or that in some way you're not allowing yourself to authentically express yourself, whether it's in your career or in your business or in your relationships, in some way you're struggling with being visible and being seen, or maybe it freaks you out to like put your work out there or to put your voice out there or to speak up, then this one is definitely for you, passion, purpose, and visibility. If you tend to struggle, or if you just want support with emotional health and setting healthy boundaries, then that workshop will be great for you. That's on the 26th. If you are either in a relationship or single and you want to strengthen your relationships, your communication skills, if you have some dating patterns or relationship patterns that are keeping you feeling stuck or frustrated or curious or overwhelmed, then that one is definitely for you. If you want to, so with money and abundance, that's really going to be about healing and looking at the subconscious blocks that you have to receiving money and abundance, and healing any generational or financial trauma that might be in your lineage. So that one's going to be a really good one. Passion and purpose is if either you're like in a job that you're like, this isn't really my thing, or like, I know that I'm meant for something else, but I don't know how to like get out of this job. Or if you know that you want to like start your own business or just do your own thing, but you need some clarity. Or maybe you're like, you have all these ideas and you're like, but I don't know what to do. then passion and purpose will be for you. If you can't make these live, they will all be recorded. So when you register, you will also get the replay and the recording. So if you can't make it live, I still would recommend registering so that you can get the replay. And then I know I have a lot of international people, and these were just the dates and times that also worked for me, but I know for my folks in Europe and in Australia and in other parts of the world, I'm gonna try to diversify the times even more. And if there are more that I can add, or at least for February, I can do some like different times, then I will, to accommodate those of you in other time zones. But like I said, even if you can't join live, you'll still get the replay when you register, and the replay is just as good, I think. I mean, except for the fact that you wouldn't get to ask like live questions of me, but the content will still be good. So I still would register. So if you have any questions about that, let me know, but you can definitely register at 𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀com/events. And by the way, Squarespace has this glitch. So if you go to that website, some of the events might show like duplicate, but don't worry, like even if you click on it and it's a duplicate, it'll still take you to the right place. So, and let me know if you have any questions, but yeah, the first one is this Friday. So sign up. Okay, I'm gonna pull some cards for us. And Shamik, I see your question. I want to answer that question. It's a good question. Oh my gosh, this card is so perfect for everything that I just spoke about. Oh my gosh, these cards are hot, y'all. Okay, so let me just stop sharing. So Shamik is asking, what a day. How do we practice self-care when we are enraged and also need to express our anger? So what I want to say to that is expressing your anger is self-care. So I'm curious, from that question, the way that you phrase that question, it has me think that there's a belief that self-care and rage and anger don't mix. But expressing your rage and expressing your anger is self-care. Self-care is very much about allowing and expressing all of you. And when we allow ourselves to express anger in a healthy way, like there's a gift in anger. And I think the reason why a lot of us don't realize that is because there are so many unhealthy expressions of anger, and it has us scared, or I don't know if scared is the right word, but it just has us not express anger in healthy ways, but there are healthy ways to express it. A healthy way to express anger is to channel it into something that is positive, to transmute it. You can channel it into art. You can channel it into like art, whether it's like a painting, a drawing, a poem, a photo series, a calling, a mission, a purpose. Anger is fuel. Anger motivates you. It creates this energy of turn on that lights something mad. Practice of self-care is in finding a safe space to explore. I know that I'm freezing a lot, but hopefully I'm coming back. Okay, so the cards that I pulled. Oh no. Oh good, I'm back. All right. Okay. Your comment is like stuck there. I can't take it off, but I pulled a few cards, which are perfect for everything. So if you are just joining, definitely watch the replay. I went on a whole thing about civil unrest through the lens of self-love and spirituality. But the first card is this: find the hidden treasure. So this is exactly what I was talking about like, even in shitty moments, even in uncomfortable emotions and uncomfortable experiences, there is an opportunity there. There is a treasure right away. You might not know what it is right away, but even just being open to that, to the fact that there's a treasure there, it's like, stop living life not expecting to suffer. Like, bad experiences are gonna happen. It's a part of life. And so if you can find the treasure inside of that, and if you need help with that, I mean, that's kind of one of the things that I work with my clients on. I work with my clients on this. So, you know, if you're in one of my workshops, 𝗴𝗹𝘀𝗀𝗃/events, I'm having a bunch of workshops this month. Please join one or all of them. But if you're in my workshops, you'll learn how to do this. If you work with me one-on-one, you'll learn how to do this. If you join my signature group program, Radiance, which I'll likely be starting up again in March, you'll learn how to do this. But just start to be open to this concept. And then this one, strengthen boundaries, tear down walls, right? So with the shit that's going on in the world today, it can really tempt you to shut down and put up walls. But there's a difference between boundaries and walls. I'm just gonna leave you with that for now. I could say more about that, but if you have questions, let me know. This is something that I'll be talking about a lot in the dating and relationships workshop. So I'm gonna also just pull up the calendar again. So the dating and relationships workshop is that one there, in the red with the red heart. If you're just joining, I'm pulling cards and I'm talking about the workshops that I'm having this month that you can sign up for. They're pay what you can. And if you go to 𝗴𝗟𝘀𝗀𝗃.com/events, which is the URL right here, you can sign up for them. And then the third card I pulled is embrace your journey. So if you are like, here's the thing. I know what's happening in the world right now, or in the United States, in the world too, but is really shitty. But the more that you resist it, the less peace that you'll feel. So like, we're in a pandemic, like shit is fucked up. And trust me, I've been going through my own shit. Like, it's not fun. But the more that you can embrace your journey, the better, the more at peace you'll feel. And like I said, at the beginning of this video, I was like, my intention is for you to feel more joy, peace, unconditional love, freedom, fun, beauty, truth, all that good stuff. And this is the way that you do it. So if you have specific questions about how to like embody these things, or anything about self-love or self-care, then I would definitely say, you know, either send a message and figure out how I can work with you one-on-one, or come to one of my workshops. My workshops are, and those of y'all that have been, definitely comment and let people know what you think. But like, my workshops are legit, okay? They're not just gonna be like me teaching and talk. Like, we're gonna go deep. You're gonna look at your shit. You're gonna look at your subconscious beliefs. You're gonna look at the ways that you block yourself. And again, it's not for everyone. Like, if you're not down with like doing the work to really like live the life that you wanna live and to really overcome the blocks that you have in money and abundance, dating and relationships, passion and purpose, pleasure, visibility, emotional health and boundaries, then don't come. But if you're like ready, if you're ready for a change, if you know that you've got patterns that you need to stop, and here's the thing, if you could have done it yourself, you would have done it already. So if you really want to be facilitated and held in a safe space where you can feel your emotions, you can go through what you need to go through, and you will literally be guided through the matrix labyrinth of your mind and your soul and your heart and your body, and come out the other side a completely transformed and different person. And I promise you that you will, especially if you really show up and do the work. Like, this is what I'm here to do. I am here on this earth to help you take this fucked up shit that happens to you and the insecurities, the limiting beliefs, those shitty feelings that you have, and transmute them, literally alchemize them into your opportunities and into your greatest gifts so that you can step into your sovereignty and your purpose and live a life better than you've ever even imagined. Like, that is what I'm here to do. Like, I work hard and I work hard for you and I don't sell out. So if you're ready to like do that kind of work, come into these workshops. Yes, Jeremy, thank you. Her workshops make you look at your shit. It's deep. Like, it's deep. Like, if you want shallow strategy bullshit, go to someone else's workshop. But if you want to like go deep and really alchemize and transform your life in these different areas, then come on into the workshop. So yeah, 𝗴𝗇fortes.com/events. These are the cards. Watch this replay. What else? Maybe I want to say a little bit more about this Friday's event. So with Money in Abundance, if you go to 𝗴𝗇fortes.com/events and you click Money in Abundance, you'll get the description of it. But it's really gonna be about looking at your subconscious blocks and beliefs that you have that are keeping you from the abundance you desire. So whether you're making good money or not, there's always going to be a next level you can go. So this isn't about being broke. This is about you knowing that you have money patterns that aren't serving you, or you knowing that you have much more potential than you're actually experiencing, and taking yourself to that next level and healing that generational trauma, that financial trauma that either happened in your life or even in your parents' life, right? Because it's epigenetics, like shit gets passed down to us. So if you want to heal and alchemize all of that type of stuff, then definitely come on Friday to Money in Abundance. Yeah, that's about it. I hope I see you all soon. This video will be uploaded to YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified. And for those of you watching here, I'll see you next week for our next Wind Down Wednesday. And hopefully I'll see you Friday for our Money and Abundance workshop. Thank you, everyone. Good night.